What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. And, GoFundMe's done a lot of good things. In fact, on this channel, we've raised a lot of money, probably close to $500,000 for various causes over the years, and all of them good, whether it was rebuilding that Kenosha game store or backing that Holiday Inn employee who was berated by some jerk. It always feels good to throw a bunch of money at somebody who's been wrong. Target Tory, for example, is another great cause that the internet rose up and raised money for. However, it is also used by scam artists and scum. And in this particular case, CNN used a woman to proclaim, to drum up sympathy, I should say, for the eviction moratorium. And a GoFundMe was started in which over $210,000 was raised. Turns out the mom featured in the CNN piece is not actually the mom of the kids and is not actually facing eviction. On top of that, she admits this and is still keeping the money. This is, of course, a scam GoFundMe. Defiant Fraud Mama is keeping $210,000 in GoFundMe donations, and GoFundMe let it happen. CNN's Nick Watt mistakenly reported last week on the eviction moratorium and profiled Dasha Kelly of Las Vegas, Nevada, who said that she and her 3 young kids were at risk of homelessness under the eviction moratorium if it wasn't kept in place. Extreme left Congresswoman Cori Bush then lauded Kelly, and a GoFundMe account was set up for Kelly's benefit, raising over $211,000 in donations, except it was all a lie. She wasn't the mom, and she doesn't even live there. So she wasn't even facing eviction. Today it came out that Kelly is not the mother of their children, has no biological tie to the children whatsoever. She is the babysitter and girlfriend to the biological father and not the real mother, but she's keeping the money anyway. And GoFundMe, which is notorious for canceling conservatives for the flimsiest of reasons, is going to let her, even though she defrauded donors by making them think she was the mother of the children when she is not. It's an interesting thing to me, GoFundMe. There's a reason that everybody from the independent comics movement ran their fundraisers through Indiegogo. There's this, in my opinion, incorrect assumption that when you build something on Kickstarter, people are just going to naturally find your product or GoFundMe or whatever. It doesn't really work that way. It still requires you to do all the manual legwork to get people to see your campaigns. So anytime someone, uses an alternative platform, I'm a big fan of that. However, anyway, the current media reports are missing that the fraud mama is saying she's a mother figure to the children and is keeping the money, and GoFundMe plans to let her keep those funds. But there's no mistake that Dasha Kelly told CNN, quote, she's a single mother of 3, when in fact their real mother is another woman entirely, Shadia Hilo. Kelly is merely dating the biological father. Kelly is now says she is, quote, a mother figure and trying to spin her lies. Kelly posted this update to GoFundMe, which currently allows donors to get their money back if they want to by filling out a form, but all the unclaimed money will go to Fraud Mama Kelly. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for your support of my fundraiser. I've been contacted with some concerns around my relationships to the girls mentioned in the fundraiser, and I'd like to clarify a couple of things. The girls recognize me as a mother figure in their lives, but I am not their biological mother. And also, more importantly, and not what is not being said here, is you are also not financially responsible for those children. The primary reason people gave you money. My partner is the children's father, whom I do not live with, and I take care of the girls in my home for periods of time, and have for the last couple years. I've loved these girls unconditionally and have out of the kindness of my heart. I treat them as my daughters and I care for them in this way. Well, then, everyone should just give you money. Not only did you lie about being evicted, you lied about being these children's mother. But that's fine, according to GoFundMe anyway. This detail doesn't change my original need for the donations. Of course. I will be using the funds to get back on my feet and support my family. Yeah, sure. As mentioned in my last update, I will also be putting money aside for the girls in their savings accounts, about $100 each, I imagine. If you would prefer to receive a refund for your donation, please fill out the form below by August 23rd. For the next 14 days, GoFundMe will issue a full refund for any donor upon request. The campaign was up to $230,000 at a point, is now down to $210,000, meaning that only 18,000, 8% have requested refunds so far. CNN didn't bother interviewing the property owner who is being bankrupted by this ongoing scam. There's no word on whether any of the GoFundMe funds will actually compensate the property owner. GoFundMe has regularly canceled conservatives for what it deems misinformation and misleading fundraising campaigns. GoFundMe canceled fundraisers for Kyle and his legal fees, the teen who defended themselves. GoFundMe refused to comment for the story. If they decide to put out a statement, it will be added. Yeah. I don't understand. Dasha Kelly raised thousands of dollars online to prevent an eviction after an interview with CNN last week. But the North Las Vegas woman's claim that she was a mother of 3 children is not accurate. I like how they just say it's not accurate. It's actually just a lie. Kelly claimed to be the mother of 3 young kids, but she is not, according to CNN. She says she originally described herself to CNN as a mother because she considers herself to be like one of them. Okay, well then I suppose you owe a lot of child support, wouldn't you think? I would argue that this is absolutely fraud. People gave money to you under the pretense that you were this mother that was getting kicked out. Except that's not the case. None of what you said. And by the way, she also created herself. Let's see where we're at right now. It is now down to $194,000. So she still has $200,000. She has a pending balance of $1,900. Okay, so you owe $1,900 to avoid eviction. Why not take $1,900 and then put the remaining $185,000 or whatever? Keep 10 grand. This is what you should do, honestly. Keep 10 grand. Get yourself from underneath this, and then donate the other $180,000 to some sort of eviction prevention charities. I guarantee you there's tons of them. It's interesting, though, you see here on August 9th, the update, refunds. Hi, everyone. I hope this finds you help. My boys and I are close to being homeless. Any bit would surely help. So people donated $5 to promote their other scam GoFundMes. I donate again. I watched news brief for your situation, including all the recent latest shake up. My opinion is this: just because you didn't give birth to those babies doesn't mean you're not a mother figure to them. So 3 hours ago, so idiots are doubling down. But most of the people, here's another one, donated $5. Anyone could look at my GoFundMe. It's funny that a lot of these, here's another one. Blessings, I see you've already reached your goal. But some of us, people are, here's donating $5 to call them fraud. Yeah, so here's another one. Ashley Queen keeps spamming her own GoFundMe. Here's another scam. By the way, look, I don't have any problem with GoFundMes. But I think it's funny that you have $5 to spam your GoFundMe on other GoFundMes when you've spent like $50 spamming this GoFundMe on other GoFundMes. I thought you were broke. It's such a weird thing to me, the mindset that a lot of people have. Like, there's nothing wrong with needing help, but if there was ever an obvious case, this Dasha Kelly seems to be one where, GoFundMe should absolutely refund the money. It's very simple. They could refund the money and say, hey, if any of you still want to do it, here's a new GoFundMe where it wasn't it built on fraud, which is what this entire thing was built on. It's insanity. And nobody seems to care at GoFundMe, even though the entire thing is a ripoff. Here's Keith Boykin. Dasha Kelly lost her job as a casino dealer. She has 3 daughters and were facing eviction yesterday, but thanks to Cori Bush pressuring President Biden to extend an eviction moratorium and a CNN appearance, she has a home and nearly $200,000 from idiots. Also understand this. I understand and sympathize with people who are in a tough spot, and the eviction moratorium is keeping a roof over their head. But it also doesn't erase the debt for not paying rent. And also, the people that own these properties aren't all like Mr. Fischoeder from Bob's Burgers. They're actual hardworking Americans who may have one or two rental properties that, by the way, they still have to pay their mortgage on these properties while their renters don't have to pay their rent. It's absolutely insane to me that the government could force this upon private citizens. I understand the need for assistance and support programs, but if you're not going to let a property owner evict someone who's not paying rent, then why should they have to pay their mortgage? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Beware scams. We'll talk to you again real soon.